Greetings, fans, and welcome to another edition of the Warrior Weekly Show. Back-to-back episodes here as we are talking basketball. I'm Sports Information Director Mike Stetson. I want to thank you for joining us. Today we're talking with women's head coach Katie Schutjer. The women had a scrimmage last night, and they tip off their season in earnest Saturday night as they host Dordt. Thanks for joining us, and now let's talk basketball with Coach Schutjer. Welcome to this edition of the Warrior Weekly Show. We're joined by women's head basketball coach Katie Schutjer. The ladies scrimmaged last night, and then this weekend they'll be tipping off for real against Dordt. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's talk about how excited you guys are to start the season and actually play somebody different and get it to count and see where you're at.
Yeah, it's been a good 3 weeks of practice so far. We are definitely ready to see what we can do against different competition versus just going against ourselves every day. So we have a scrimmage tonight, so we'll see a lot on what we're going to be able to do, and then hopefully have 2 good days of practice afterwards. Kind of focused on some things we need to clean up before we go into Saturday's game.
Talk about the makeup of this team. Last year, a team that took some nice steps. I mean, within a basket of beating number 2 in the nation at the time, and most of that team is back. So have they progressed a year? Does this team look as good and a little better than they did a year ago?
In my opinion, yeah, we've got a good group of seniors. We got 4 seniors this year for us that all have done a lot over the summertime to get better, have really improved in the weight room, really improved on the court, and confidence-wise, I think that they're where they need to be as seniors. We have 1 junior, our point guard, who has definitely taken some big steps over the summer as well. And then we've been able to add with a couple of junior college transfers and a couple of freshmen that are going to play some big-time minutes for us. So I think we've made the steps in the right direction, to continue moving forward. And I think they've meshed well together so far, which is something that you never really know when you've got a lot of upperclassmen and a lot of younger classmen that are going to play minutes for you. You never know how well they're going to mesh together. And so I think we've done a pretty good job the past 3 weeks of practice of all of them learning each other and, kind of developing that chemistry. So I think we're going to set up ourselves well for this pre-conference season leading into the conference season.
You talked about seniors and returners. Obviously, one of the highlights has to be having Taylor Fricke back. And I think every coach in the conference is going to mark her number down as a player to watch and stop. How nice is it having an all-conference senior back to lead this team?
It's good. She's developed a lot more confidence, over the past year, being able, since we were able to take good steps last year as a team. I think she even sees more now so the potential that we can have as a team, and I think she really used that as motivation this summer to make herself better as an individual player. And she worked really hard in the weight room, and she worked really hard in the court as well. And then we've had, some other seniors. Michaela Graffender has really stepped up, and she'll do some really good things for us. And then our point guard, like I said, Morgan Straight, has come light years from where she was last year. And so I think, with Taylor kind of leading the pack and then the other seniors and juniors that we have coming underneath her, I think that our leadership is where it needs to be, our captainship is where it needs to be, and so hopefully everyone can follow suit.
You mentioned some of the newcomers, some of the JC transfers, as well as the freshmen. And I think one of the things that stood out to me is there's some good height, some good size that's going to be an impact. Who do you see in that group of newcomers being impact players?
Well, with our junior college transfers, we've got Maricela Perez from Iowa Lakes. She's going to play point guard for us, and she actually led the ICC-AC conference in assists per game. And so she's somebody that is really going to add that depth to our game of being able to pass the ball, push the ball, and transition. And then Emily Haybrick from Minnesota West Community College. They had a very successful team, very successful program last year. She's a scorer. She can play excellent defense, boxes out really well. So from a guard standpoint, they're really going to add a lot to our depth on the perimeter. And then, we have a 6'2" freshman that she's a freshman, so she definitely has some things to learn. But just to have that bigger post presence and size, where you can block shots, you can deter a lot of things defensively, is going to help our half court defense as well.
You guys, you played a lot of different styles last year as you were finding yourselves. Mm-hmm. Have you identified how this team will play the game this year? Will it be up tempo? Will it be the full court press, which seemed to work well for you guys, or will it be a combination of things?
I think we're going to mix it up a little bit this year. We are more guard oriented than what we have been in the past, so we are definitely going to use that to our advantage. But I also am a firm believer in having just a good half court defense, and so I think we're going to mix it up a lot this year. Use different things against different teams that are going to give us maybe more of an advantage in that game. But definitely going to look to push it a little bit more than what we have in the past, just because we do have more guards on the perimeter that can do more for us.
Good three-point shooting team, bad three-point shooting team.
I think we'll be a good three-point shooting team this year. Our returners have really worked at improving that part of their game, and that was something for us last year that we started off pretty poor. And as the season went on, we got better as a team with it, and they really continued to focus on that part, especially in the offseason or in the postseason, and then this preseason as well. So I think that's something that's definitely going to play in our favor.
Obviously, a player like Taylor is one of those go-to players who can be a game changer, especially in close games down the stretch. Will she be the go-to player, or do you put that kind of thing label on someone?
It's going to be interesting this year. I think that we're going to be in situations where we can have different go-to players. A lot of it depends on what kind of shot we need. Do we need the ball in, our point guard's hands? Do we need the ball in our forward's hands? So I think there's going to be different situations that we can set a lot of different people up as kind of the go-to player for that game. What's nice about our team is we do have, like I said, we've got a good group of seniors and a couple juniors that I think have had that pressure situation on them before, who are comfortable with having the ball in their hands. And I think that's going to work well in our favor when we get to those situations or get to those games that we can mix it up, and kind of keep our opponents on their toes.
Seeing the preseason poll came out the other day, you guys a little bit of respect. You were at 6, but not a lot of respect. Is that a good thing? Do you guys go into the season with a chip on your shoulder, or do you feel like, yeah, we're moving up and we're going to continue to take steps forward?
I think our team, it's definitely a step up from where we have been in the past. So I think our team definitely was a little bit excited about that, but I do believe our team also thinks that they're better than what we were placed in the conference. And I think that they're ready to go out and prove that a little bit this year. It is going to be tough. We have some tough teams returning in our conference as well. But I think, with the steps that we made last year as a team, and this group of seniors and juniors now seeing what they are capable of playing and the level they're capable of playing at, I think that they might surprise themselves a little bit, and then I think we're also going to surprise a lot of teams in our conference as well.
Where do you guys finish? Put that tough question out there.
That is always a tough question, just because we are kind of a new team this year, and a lot of teams in our conference, we don't really know where a lot of them, several teams are bringing in a lot of new kids that I don't know a whole lot about. But I told our team, one of our goals is to finish in the top half, and I think that if we play good basketball and we stay healthy, injury-free, sickness-free, I think that by the time we get to conference season, we can set ourselves up to do that this year.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach. I want to remind you fans, the ladies will be tipping off 6 o'clock Saturday night against Dort, and then Halloween, 5:30, doubleheaders both nights, so come out, have a lot of fun, cheer the ladies and the men those nights on to victories. Thank you again, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much.